Welcome to Numb Bills Fan Podcast for episode number 150. I've been told to call this the Not For Nothing Numb Bills Fan Podcast because not for nothing, I do not for nothing say not for nothing a lot. So I'm your host, David Palermo, and right now I want to remind everybody we're brought to you by PunchdrunkSports.com. Please check out Punch Drunk Sports and check out their podcast. They have a podcast network coming out, and it's pretty sweet, and we are a part of it. 3 comedians, and they're all from LA. Sam Tripoli, well, in LA, Ari Shafir, and Jason Tebow. And Ari Shafir is actually in New York City and kind of goes back and forth, but whatever. So Ari Shafir has a special Double Negative. Check it out. It is up on Netflix. It's really rad. It's awesome. Sam Tripoli has a Tinfoil Hat podcast, which is really getting me to question everything I ever thought I'd know. And also, Jason Tebow is on the NFL Red Zone, or I should say the DirecTV Red Zone channel, and he was on our podcast a couple podcasts ago. So please check those guys out. Great stuff from them. If you'd like unfiltered sports takes, please go check it out. As always, follow Numb Bills Fan everywhere, numbbillsfan.com. You can follow us along on Instagram, on Twitter, also along on Facebook. A lot of good stuff coming up on the Facebook especially, so please, there's some good stuff coming into works. Make sure you check it out. And if you're wondering how long am I going to babble for, probably another minute, so just go with your little clicker thing up a minute. So lastly, brought to you by Grandstand Sports Network, the best view in sports. Check it out, grandstandsportsnetwork.com. Awesome radio all day long, sports radio, great podcast, and you got the Locked On franchise. Check out Locked On Bills, awesome. Kevin Masseri's on all the time. We've had Nate Geary on. Shout out to Nate, love Nate, and Aaron Quinn over there too, who we've been in talks with. So Aaron, shout out to you for making content and doing your part, making this all go. So check Locked On Bills podcast. Got to actually... We'll get into it. So I'm going to set this up. Wish I had some kind of music. The podcast is starting now. There was a victim who was lucky enough to talk to me on, as in like, actually, I was lucky enough to have somebody leave a review and the iTunes review for the podcast. And his name is Rodney Schuler. And on the line is Rodney. So hello, Rodney. Are you there, dog? Oh, wait. Oops. Hold on. Let me turn your channel on. All right. So
what's good, man?
You know, just all pro podcast.
Absolutely, bro.
So Rodney had a 5-star review, and you know, he's been a big supporter of the podcast. I had to ask him along. And so he was the victim of... Jesus, Rodney, what the fuck is going on right now?
Sorry, dude. My dogs are going nuts.
Oh, my God.
All right.
Jesus.
I
shouldn't have used God's name in vain like that. I'm going to go to hell.
Sorry about that, dude. Do you want to like go back and like start over or something, or
no? We're gonna let this roll because this is funny as fuck. So
we'll roll live, bro. We'll roll live. All right.
So essentially, the setup is Rodney got to win a seat to the game to sit next to me, and Rodney was great because he got to see Drunk Dean from phase 1 all the way to phase 6. I don't know what happened to phase 3 and 4. But I included phase 1, 2, 5, 6, and I don't know. What did you think about your day? You showed up. I was waking up from my girlfriend's house, like, all right, shit, I'll get home at 7:20. Rodney will be here at 7:30. Shit, that's like a half hour earlier than thought. I thought he'd need more time. And long story short, dude comes in, and he's waiting at my house, lights on, and I'm like, shit. So, how was your drive? Where did you come from, Rodney?
Yeah, dude. No, thanks for having me out, man. It was a real good time. I came from this town called Johnstown, New York. It's about like an hour. Well, from you guys, like I'd say an hour east of Utica, like an hour west of Albany. So that was about like 3 hours. So I just, got up at like 4 a.m., hit the road, and got there around 7:30 or so, man.
Okay.
And
What were
yeah,
your
yeah.
what were your first impressions when you walked into the white trash mansion?
Dude, it was a fantastic place, man. Like your dogs are rad as hell. Like I dig the renovations. The room with the wall of amps and a drum kit, like in your living room. Like that's my kind of place, man. So I felt like it's right at home there.
I'll be honest. I picked the easiest person that I think could tag along. And we've shot the shit about music and stuff and a lot. And like I told you before, you're the guy where if I was out of town and my band had to get out of town, vice versa, we'd sleep on each other's couches. Like, yo, dude, come hang out. Okay, shit. All right, I got a spot for you. And it's like, I don't know. I think that's like that with Bills fans in general too. So it was cool to get to know you, and it really didn't feel like it felt like the same people that I've hung out with for years. So it was pretty rad, you know.
Yeah, yeah, dude. No, absolutely, man. Feelings mutual. Like, totally. Like, it definitely did. Like, riding to the game in the van with all your friends like Dean, Jeff, and Bob. Like, everybody's like all been in bands and stuff before too. So it just kind of had that same, just like going to the gig in the van kind of deal. No, man, it was a real cool time. Like
Yeah,
everybody was
Dean's
cool.
awesome, man. Like he let me in like his band for some reason. I don't know why. And like Jeff hasn't ever really played much, but he's a guy that put out Dean's band. He put out this band called The Weight We Carry, a 7-inch for them, and he put out a 7-inch for this band I was in called Borrowed Time. And he puts his money where his mouth is, and not a lot of people would do that. And he's a homeowner, he's a winner. I hate to say it like win or lose, but it's like he's a good influence to hang out with because he's somebody that for me I can keep myself in check. And it's like I always joke with Jeff, like amongst the Bills fans fans we have amongst our group of friends, like Jeff's the accountant. Like how are we gonna afford Darius? And it's like you gotta have that guy. So. For me I never had the balls to send out press kits because I didn't have confidence in what I was doing, which was stupid because I didn't think that anybody would want to invest $1,500 into my band, or any band I was in. Not, don't mean to say mine or theirs. It's like, just, I don't know, like, did we have a good team for them to put out the record or not? And it's like, for a guy like Jeff to take a chance like that, that's huge, man. That's like a bunch of mortgage payments, a bunch of sitting up at night putting shit together.
Absolutely, man. Like, yeah, I checked out Dean's band too. The Weight We Carry, they're pretty badass. I dug it. And definitely, dude. Like people like Jeff and like guys who like do that kind of stuff. They're like what keep like the music scene alive. Like they help keep bands like out there doing stuff. Being able to support themselves in some way and like booking shows. And it's just like a lot of thankless shit that they have to go through too to do it. And you usually end up losing money on shit too. So it's definitely mad respect for that.
Yeah, man, it's a losing battle, dude. Like it's, bands are expensive. You got to deal with members, and it's like everybody is their own person. And I'm not necessarily the easiest person to work with, but I try to at least strive to be objective. But sometimes it's even hard,
Right.
yourself. So it's like you have to really work as a team. So it's like that's you kind of realize when you do other projects who you appreciate. So, Rodney,
sure,
is
man.
that ice right now, dude?
Yeah.
Are you like thinking that people are listening to this or like?
Dude, I'm sorry.
Shit.
I've like never like I was shitty in the studio, and like B, like I've just never been on a podcast.
No
so I apologize.
Shit.
I'm fucking up all the etiquette.
Have you ever listened to a podcast and were like, man, what the fuck is that guy doing right now? You know what I mean? Like,
you eating fucking chips? What you doing next?
Jesus, do you want to take out some whipped cream or something too?
I might. All right, I'm good now.
All right, Doc. So anyways, you end up riding with the Misfits. I don't know Bob too well, but I met Bob over probably, I've known him on and off for like 11, 12 years. Don't know him too well. He's a super cool dude, though, because he'll come out to our shows. And, for Dean to let me in his band was the biggest mistake of his life. So, because he fucking helped make an egomaniac. So, thanks, Dean. And, he's just a guy that you're in a band with, and for years he's just like a good dude past the band. Like he's there to help you move. He's there to help you out. I don't know. Just try to surround ourselves with good people. So you just seem like that, but riding up. T, are you really gonna be near that dog right now?
I'm not. I'm in a whole separate room. They're just going nuts at the door. So.
Oh my god.
It's like a studio apartment too. So it's.
Oh my god. Okay. So, what were your thoughts when we pulled up to the game, like the van ride? How was the van ride? First impressions right out the gate. Were you like, this is fucked up, or you're like, nah, this feels natural?
Nah, dude, like totally natural, right? It was just like I said, it was just like hanging out with people who just felt like, old buds and just like having some road soda and talking about the Bills and like, just our experiences with the team, like in the season and things like that, expectations, like not saying the playoff word or anything like that, it was a good time. And then like, and you guys, we pulled up, I dug the parking situation, and then the walk on in, like, it was a good tour through all like the tailgates and shit, which is like honestly like one of my favorite parts of the whole experience. It's like going to church kind of, you go to the stadium, you're around all the people, everybody's just there to just fucking, cheer on the Bills. And like, we all want that same thing. It's just, have a good time and watch our team.
Yeah, totally. And I thought, what I thought was right is we got, and I didn't get to meet him in person either, but we actually got to meet Eric Turner from Cover One. And his group of friends, they felt like, people I knew before, so it's like, I don't know, it was really nice I had a very like good time just honestly, as corny as it sounds, like connecting with people this weekend and, knowing that the people you work with, you can be face to face with them and know you can work with them. And because I put a lot of trust in Eric because he pretty much man support there at Grandstand Sports Network, and he's on to something very, very, very good. And to be able to represent that network on the sidelines and essentially represent him, that affords me access to kind of know what the hell I'm talking about to a point. Whether I say some shit out of my mouth or not, it's like without the help of a guy like Eric, it's not happening. He's the one guy who's like, oh, I've been listening since the beginning. I believe your shit. It's like an Opie and Anthony version kind of fucking sports talk. Oh, okay. Well, sweet. Like, thank you. Like, very flattering. Like, I don't know. I just don't agree with what's out there. So it's like for Eric to put the X's and O's to takes and offer that confirmation at like, no, this is it or this is it, or at least give you a more educated guess is great when you want to have an objective conversation about the Bills and not rely every conversation on who's the quarterback going to be. Because, frankly, Eric Turner, he puts in a lot of work, man. So to meet him and connect with everybody, connect with you is my overall point. It doesn't get better than that. And then I got to show you the Red Pinto tailgate real quick. We did miss the festivities, but... you at least got to see the setup. So what'd you think about that with the Pinto and
dude, it was awesome. I'll admit it was a bit blurry at that point, I was pretty deep into a few drinks, but like it was pretty awesome though, man. Like just getting to see the whole setup. Like it's just kind of again this one of these it's like you're taking a pilgrimage to the stadium. You got to go see these certain like shrines to the Bills, that are out there. And one of those is like the Red Pinto tailgate, right? So, no, man, it was just really cool to be in it, man.
How did you like? I think it was pulled pork sandwich from Nick Pop's dad there.
Dude, that was sick. I do remember that very clearly. It was like juicy, delicious, just a little pulled pork slider, just like shoved in my hand, and it was great. It was great, dude.
Yeah, I think it's awesome, man. Like, they got the bowling ball shot setup thing, and it's like, maybe you're not into doing shots or partying or whatever, but, like, at least there's options to the people who want to, and, you're going to find good people there, and there's always going to be chaos. I mean, I just love to see shit go down, so why not? And then it's like, it's just like the one day a week that people get to go, fuck it. and it's 8
Yeah.
times a year at home because there's no damn Toronto game. And I love to see people go, fuck it. We're Bills fans. We're not going to get into fights. We're here on the same team. It's a very rare moment where you can have all those people and not have much drama. But if there is, it's going to be funny as hell. And it's like you're going to see people who you don't see drunk, and it's like, finally, you let go. This is great. Like, so, yeah, it's kind of weird because I'm not really a drinker, as you can tell. Like, I don't,
Right.
I'd rather just like rip Mad Balls and like fucking walk in there, frankly, and
Yeah.
kind of be hyper tuned to what's going on and relax. So, dude, like, we get into the game. What'd you think? Like, right off the bat, like, overall experience as far as like, did you like the seats? Were they okay? Did you like the setup, the weather? Like, how'd you feel in there?
Yeah, dude, like those seats are like some of the best seats ever, to be honest. Like, you don't pay too much and you just get like such a good view of the field. Like, it's not too far away. You can see exactly like where the ball is and stuff, but you get to see like the whole 22 kind of view of the field. It was awesome. The people sitting around there were great. The weather was like crazy, like warm. It was nice, Yeah, it was just like a real good football day, like late October.
Our section is 331, row 6. Row seats 21, 22, I believe. They're like 6 off the aisle, 5 and 6 off that aisle right there. So closer to the edge. And so the view, I believe, is like the 15-yard line on the Bills side towards the head and kind of towards the corner. And on the opposite corner even, it's not bad. And so my goal when I got those tickets was to be as close to the railing as possible, so you have like a solid view, because the whole story is, I tell my friends all the time, is I used to be like a snooty snob, like, oh, fuck that. I work, I make some money, I'm a big drywall guy, like freaking thinking I'm like some baller or some dumb shit. So I would always be a snob and get the tickets in the lower bowl. And I've sat in the rock pile when I was younger, but I didn't pay too much attention to the atmosphere. And, so one time randomly, like 7 years ago, I was like, fuck it, I'm going to get seats just off a scalper. And I got them off a scalper, and I sat like on the 50-yard line about like, I think maybe, 15 rows up from the center. And I was like, I see everything here. I see all the formations. I see the open receivers. I see everything. And then when I got my seats for 331, I wanted them as low to the railing as possible to almost give it, or I wanted as high back up in the lower bowl as possible. But the Kelly Club is really, that inner ring is freaking perfect, but I can't afford that. So my tickets work out to, I think, $85 a piece. And, you kind of can't beat that. It's a good view. Where I do get a little pissed, shout out to anybody who listens from the stadium or anything. I'm sure the Bills have a PR department. So, if anybody's listening, pass it on the line. It's not really a good look to have season tickets and then have 3 TVs and 2 of them working while you're sitting in line to pay $5.50 for a Mountain Dew, which I understand is a deal, okay, compared to other places, but that stuff costs you like 10 cents. Stop it here, okay? We already spent $85. You can get me there, but if we're spending $85, I would like to at least watch a damn game. And if the TV don't work, well, you better make it look like the TV was never there in the first place, so I have nothing to get pissed off about. But, I mean, if you want to call me, my services are Bring It On Home Incorporated, David Palermo. So dave@numbillsfan.com is an email that works for you. And I will gladly come there, and I can give you an estimate for free. I will drive to Buffalo, Orchard Park, One Bills Drive, and give you an estimate on how much it would cost to install new TVs. If you would like to subcontract your services to me, that is fine. I'm sure there's many stadiums to take care of that, but I'm telling you, for $85 a fucking ticket, it's a lot of money. Excuse my French, but it clearly pinches a nerve. and I have 3 of them. And if a friend bails last minute from going to the game, which has happened, unfortunately, it kind of sucks, and you got to eat it. So for me, it's like, okay, let's keep this truck moving. And yeah, that's about it I got for the stadium experience. But
Dude. Yeah, man.
I'd rant on that. So
no, for sure. Like the only other stadium I have to compare it to is Heinz Field, but it's way nicer. Like the view in there, like you can get from the seats you had, they're just like, I don't know. It feels like more close in and stuff. It's a good place.
Yeah, I love it. And come to find out, in the upper sections, people know more about sports. They're more into it up there. And the biggest misconception was I thought they getting season tickets, I would be around everybody who's like super dedicated. When I was a kid, if someone said they had season tickets, I was like, oh my golly, you have season tickets? You're like Richie. You go to every sporting event, because as a kid, it's like I would just marvel at like architecture of stadiums, and I love history of sports. And so anyways, what'd you think about the game? Some quick thoughts on that, and then if you want to go a little bit on some upcoming games. I know you said you had some thoughts on that, but the game was a heart-wrenching game against Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Second quarter, I was like losing my mind, like, where is the offense here? And I was even on Twitter telling you, like, while you were next to me, like, dude, I gotta post this. Like, I'm livid, and then when the Bills start doing good, I don't post shit. And I was guilty about that one that day. But it's like, yo, what is up with this offense? And it's like, statistically, Rodney, the Bills look great on offense. I just thought that, honestly, situationally, it wasn't great. And would you agree with that, or do you think it was more like I'm overreacting here?
The offense, no. I mean, like, yeah, going into the end of the first half, dude. Like, I was with everybody. Like, what the hell, man? Like, we left like at least 13 points out there for it, So I was real nervous going into the second half. But I mean, I don't know. For me, the positive thing that I take from it though is that the offense hung in there, and like was able to like, even make a comeback, like they stayed steady. Like Tyrod doesn't seem like a guy who gets like rattled by stuff easily, he doesn't really like lose his cool.
He moves on to the next play.
Yeah. And I think that was like really crucial in this game. And the defense kind of did the same thing. I mean, they didn't play their best at all like this season. They got, Tampa was able to score on them pretty well, but they hung in there and we're still making plays like right up to the end when it really counted and ended up winning us the game. So it was a heart-wrenching game. That last play was like ridiculous, with the lateral passes or whatever, where Jordan Poyer got hurt. Like that was stupid, but
yeah, I was going crazy. I couldn't. I mean, we were like, "Is this really happening?" No, they're not. Because I think about Deshaun Jackson, and I think about that return against the Giants, where Coughlin's head looks like a fucking tomato was just gonna explode, and just obliterate everybody in the stadium, and and I will never forget that moment of Deshaun Jackson just like that return that shouldn't have been a return for a touchdown, and it's like it would only happen to the Bills, and it sucks we say that. But it's like it would only happen to the Bills.
But it didn't. This time.
Right.
It didn't. We didn't get the stupid penalties either. Like it was.
So there was some crazy stat, right? That I'm gonna misquote it. So allegedly, I heard a stat on the John Murphy show with Chris Brown, I believe, on there. So I'm trying to get the credit there. That the Bills have never won a game where they've been down with 3 points. Or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you hear that? Like something like that. And that's 50. That's like
that somewhere.
Yeah, and it's like they've never engineered a win at home in 50 something the whole time. So credit to Tyrod Taylor with less than 3 minutes driving that team down the field quick. Okay. Yeah, maybe Tyrod Taylor does need people he can work with, but like, Deontay Thompson, they've had a chemistry since an all-star game in high school. If you heard if you have not checked out the John Murphy interview with Deontay Thompson, with Donald Jones as well, you must check it out. If you don't listen to that show at all, fuck listening to my podcast. God, I'm dropping these like Scarface today. But fuck this podcast. Go listen to the John Murphy Show. It's the best radio ever, especially with Reuben Brown and Donald Jones just picking on each other and then, shouting, laying on Murph. It's hilarious. It's honestly extremely good radio. I can't. It's probably my favorite show because I just laugh my ass off. I'm literally having these adult chuckles because I know I could personally fake it for terrestrial radio. I could stay clean if I need to. I stay clean at work. I knock on people's doors and tell them I'm going to make a mess in their house. And they let me in there, and they let some idiot with a dog tattooed on their hand in their house. How you looking? So, welcome to America. And it's like, I had to make a mess. And sometimes messes happen. But Rodney, I can at least show up in these people's houses and comfort them to know that everything's going to be okay. And really, when I listen to the John Murphy Show, it gives me it makes me not want to flip the table, because at least they're giving me a former player's perspective view times 2. You're getting good guests on there, that know what they're talking about. And that's where I had to start with the baseline. If you want a pulse of low-hanging fruit, I go with more terrestrial, other radio stations, like you want to, what's the hot topics, also check your social media. But, John Murphy gives it to you nice, you know what I mean? And it's like, credit to them for having funny radio, because I can fake it to be clean, but, not fake it, but I can definitely be clean and be professional like they are, but they have like good humor like they do naturally. There's an art to that too. Like I really find that show very pleasing to listen to, and you get good information. And sometimes you might have to, maybe you get a tap from the PR department. Hey, you think we could maybe downplay this or not talk about that? Sure, but at least it's always a good conversation. At the end of the day, it's Bills based, and you're laughing your ass off. Like, that's how I look at it. I don't know. Do you listen to it regularly, Rodney?
Sometimes I have, like in the past, but I'll check out. I haven't listened to it in a while, but I'll check out that Deontay Thompson interview for sure, because he was like one of the things that like was giving me some like hope too. And like Jordan Matthews is also going to be like healed up more for the next game and stuff. So I mean, and Raw Dog O'Leary still looking good, man. Like I don't know, I think we got some. We can piece something together, maybe. We'll see how these next few games go. That's the big thing here.
What was the in hindsight, thinking about the game, Ronnie, we were going to podcast right after, and then we got back a little bit later than planned, and so it's like I'm not as sharp, honestly, on the games I thought, because we've been looking forward to Oakland. But I will say, what was interesting about this game in hindsight is like, hey, Tyrod Taylor engineered a drive, okay? And they came back. He bought Deontay Thompson more time, which in the interview, Deontay Thompson was like, looking back on the replay, I didn't realize he did all that. And Murph's like, hey, he bought you some time. And it's like, that's something he wanted to do. So, like, right out the bat, in his mind was get it to Deontay Thompson. He was so open. And it's like credit to Bills too for the turnovers, but really, I was kind of dropping the deuce in my pants because Tyrod Taylor engineered this drive, and he doesn't get enough credit. He does not get enough credit. He did not mess up. It was a great game from Tyrod. He did not have turnovers. This offense looked like the offense that we're used to seeing from the Bills in hindsight, right? They were dependable, and for the first time, and I talked about this on a podcast ago or two, I believe last week, and I mentioned that there's going to be a time that this offense needs to bail out the Bills defense. And we could say whatever we want. I was arguing with Scott Campbell right next to me. You heard me. I'm like, dude. He's like, it's bend, don't break. It's bend, don't break. And I'm like, yep. And they just keep throwing the ball towards the flats and getting a lot of yards. They're getting one guy on him, and he's getting shaken, and there's 6 yards. And it's like, hell, man. Like, what the hell? And it's like the Bills got turnovers. And the mind-boggling thing is the Bills should have had, I thought, literally 13 more points on the board, okay? In that game, easily 13, possibly 20. And that's what leaves you wondering, like, they did not have many points off of turnovers. I believe 3, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Off of 3 turnovers, 3 points. And all we do is look at turnovers like the end-all, be-all. I mean, Rodney, you had to have been shitting your pants, right?
Oh, yeah, dude. Like, I mean, that is kind of the challenge, right? It's like they can't seem to, turn these turnovers into points. I mean, that's something that's winning this game is like, they have 3 turnovers, we have none, because Tyrod's not throwing them, or like 1 this last game. But like, if the offense can score on them and capitalize on them, then like that will be awesome. That will be next level. And I don't know, they might be able to. I think they can still straighten it out. You have to think that they're looking at this last week and hopefully like learning from it and preparing like, all right, how can we do better? How can we build on this for the Raiders, because their defense is soft too. But I don't know. Sorry, man, I think I totally hijacked that, but
No. Honestly, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, we had a great ride home because we're talking about the game the whole way, and these are the things that we were talking about. We're listening to Nate Geary and Show Up in the Bulldog. And hilarious. What was it? What did he, oh my god, I got a tickle in my throat. What did the guy say?
Bulldog smokes pole. That's when he got off the phone or whatever.
Hilarious. And then Dean was trying to call up, and Dean was drunk, and I'm like, yes, this is great, because Dean was like level 6. And if you're wondering about Dean, this is why you got to get on Instagram. You got to follow Numb Bills Fan on Instagram. Just look for hashtag Buffalo Bills, and eventually you'll see a Numb Bills Fan thing. Okay, so there's a reason for that, because I keep up on it. All right, just look for something stupid. Odds are it's Numb Bills Fan. Click it. You'll see Drunk Dean live in action, about to tackle me, and I don't trust him when he's drunk. And it's like, Dean is like the one guy in a band I've had to physically fucking harm. And it sucks, because I love him. And my friend Scott that sits next to me does not like him at all. And then Scott's dad loves him. Dean! And Scott's like, no. He is a horrible fucking person. I don't like Dean. So I'm always telling Scott, like, nah, man, lighten up on Dean. He's a good guy. He's a homeowner. He's a winner. All right, just let him go. And then next thing you know, Dean, I'm telling him, yo, man, Scott don't like me. Scott don't really like you, man. I go, be fucking nice. This guy goes, dude, I am every time. And he's like, you know why he doesn't like me? Why? I go, why? He goes, well, because I went to the game one time in place of you, remember? I go, yeah. And he goes, well, I almost got kicked out about 3 fucking times, so I don't blame him if he thinks I'm a horrible person. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, yeah, so Drunk Dean is definitely a horrible person when he's drunk. And so I don't put it by him for me to get my dumbass tackle while holding my phone in a grass muddy lot. Like, I'm set. So I defended myself, and it's on Instagram. And what did you think about Dean? Dean's a good guy, right?
Dude, Dean's a great dude. Yeah, because, I mean, to be honest, I was like, oh, man, is this guy going to be like an asshole? But he's really not. Like, he's like
so lovable.
Dude. He is. He's real, like, he's a real friendly dude. I liked him. Sorry for ruining your reputation too, Dean. But, he's good. He's a rad dude. He's a rad dude, man.
Yeah, and then Jeff Knight, he's very calculated, right?
Jeff Knight? Oh, yeah.
A very, very good thought. He's like Einstein in that brain, And I just think he has in his brain, what's up, cocksucker, in his brain all the time, just Joey Diaz. What's up, cocksucker? It's all in his brain is Joey Diaz going off. And, oh, man, Rodney. So I had a great time with you, man. I thought it was great bringing to the game. I thought it was a hell of a game to be at, too. I mean, all said and done, to see the offense bail out the defense and, them band together, and you hear the stories afterwards. And I'll be honest, the Kyle Williams afterwards, I was at work, and I'm sanding drywall, and I had tears rolling down my face with, like, little drywall saying, like, damn it. And I'm like, it's like, dude, that was so, like, dude, like, really, man. Come on, dude. like sometimes you wonder, like, why the fuck do you hang around that long, Kyle? Like, why? Like, what are you doing? And I don't think he's done anytime soon. Honestly, like he's an animal. He is an absolute animal. He is still the first one off the ball. And putting Darius next to him, unless Darius is asked not to burst off the ball sometimes, which could be true, I don't know. Ask Eric Turner at cover1.net. I know I'll forget. Maybe I should write this down. Is Darius slow? Slow. Okay, I'm really going to fucking ask him. I keep swearing a lot today. So, as you can tell, Kyle Williams, very emotional after the game. And, man, heart-wrenching. Did you hear it, Rodney, or am I just leading you down a path of nowhere?
Dude, I feel like an asshole. I didn't hear it, actually.
Don't feel like an asshole.
I haven't followed up. I'm gonna have to check that out too, man. So for tomorrow, that and the Deontay Thompson interview.
Dude,
the guy's like, he's like, he's like the heart of the team, though. He's definitely like clearly a leader of like the Bills, and like has been for his, for like over a decade. I mean, so mad respect for him. Mad respect for Kyle Williams.
Yeah, mad love for Kyle Williams. So I'm so happy for guys like Kyle. And then you hear Eric Wood was going up and down the sideline like, we're going to score. No matter what this team does right now, this team is going to score. The Bills are going to score a touchdown. We need to drive right down the field. That's exactly what they did. And as corny as it might sound, I used to laugh at that shit. Like, oh, rah, 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 leadership, blah, 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 blah. But you know what, man? I picked up, and I talk about this a lot, and I picked up adult hockey, and I love playing adult hockey because it's giving me a second wind on applying sports psychology that I hear. And it's like, man, why doesn't this player just get his head out of his ass? Yeah. Well, sometimes it's kind of hard. And then, you hear stories about like, wow, so-and-so's a cancer in the locker room. Well, I've dealt with that on my men's hockey teams. Like on our one team getting it together, we had a couple guys that frankly just wanted to get in fucking fights, man. And like, we got good guys like that. Our friend Eric, who listens regularly, Eric Kuhlman, great guy. He's a family man, it seems. He posts cute pictures. He's got a family and shit. And I'm like, Eric, why are you on this team? Are you sure? Like, man, we get the first game, we play the Shooters, and our friend Denny gets suspended for 4 fucking games, which I had to talk him out of getting suspended for a year. And we're skating short, and it's like, man, there's so much drama that happens. And it's like, fuck, man, I just want to put a team together to play some hockey and just get better. And I couldn't get my spot on a team. So it's like, man, you get to really understand what these players go through because you're physically doing it, and you have even interactions with players. And I play with groups of people who are really negative, and it doesn't work well. And I play with groups of people who are kind of encouraging, and your whole team elevates. And then there's a thing of chemistry, and it's like, when I think about the offensive line, I think about the people I'm paired up with. If I'm center and I go out with the same wings every time, and I know where they're going to be, and then we could talk about adjustments. I mean, you know what I mean? You know where they're going to be. You have eyes in the back of their head. So it's like I can kind of relate that to other parts, whether it's football, fucking Monopoly, or goddamn dice. I don't give a fuck. It's all the same. It's all the same pattern, and it's like, you can make your own parallels. And you could even take your parallels from work. I mean, if you work in a nice, encouraging... There's a guy I work for, Tom McKinley, that been on the podcast, and he's the reason the podcast exists. Tom McKinley is the man, okay? And he's a guy where, like, I was going to leave drive. I was like, fuck this. This is stupid. You know what he did? He saw something in me, and he gave me opportunities to make money. He knew I wasn't going to be cheap, and he knew I felt worth something. He knew I had that kind of swagger going on. And, I was very confident in my work, but I got caught up in the recession. No fucking joke. No fucking joke. I got caught up in the recession, Rodney, and it's like, this dude encouraged me, and I blossomed into being a homeowner, and which I'm kind of proud about, man. I never thought I would do this. I didn't have much money growing up, so it's like, if you work with people who encourage you, it can happen. And that's my overall point with this leadership stuff. And this team is playing like a team. Offense bails out the defense. The defense has allowed the offense to try to get their shit together. And we saw an offense that looks like we are used to seeing a Tyrod Taylor getting his rushing yards, a Sean McCoy 2 touchdowns. Oh, come on. Some deep throws. Like, let's go. That's what we're liking. Seeing Deion Dawkins coming into left guard, allegedly on accident, but the Bills are saying it was by design and they're homering it up, which, first things I heard was it was an accident. So, but either way, Cordy Glenn looked like a monster as always. Like, let's go. Trade nobody. Fuck the equity.
Yeah.
I mean, Rodney, thoughts on everything I've rambled on for 6 minutes?
Dude, no, like, well, to go to the offensive line, I was watching that, the cover one breakdown of that play too. That was awesome. Yeah, the Dawkins one. And yeah, the stuff about like trading Cordy Glenn, I'm just like, no, why would we do that? Why would we get rid of this guy? Like, we're building a team. We've got like a solid foundation, I think, for a future team. Even if they don't go to the playoffs this year, like, I got a lot of confidence in like where the team's sitting right now that, like, you know, let's draft. We've got so many draft picks. And Dean and I were talking about this in the back of the van and stuff. Well, I think it was kind of going through the whole van, but like just how this is this regime's idea. Like, they want to develop the team and build it up through the draft, you know, like get rid of this like ridiculous cap situation that the team was in, you know, a couple of years ago. Like, it's kind of settled out, but this will let us, you know, pick up some awesome like first round picks, like some real good like skill position players or something maybe, you know. Yeah, and just build a really durable, long-term, successful team, I think. So that's my pie in the sky, like, kind of vision for the team going forward.
I will say, Rodney, as far as situationally, I don't like to see turnovers without points. That is my big fucking pain, okay? I do not like to see turnovers without points, and if you think that's acceptable, it's not. It's just not. You got to figure it out. Okay, now everything is relative. If you got to kill some clock, sure. Okay, maybe you don't need points, but you get the point here. You got to do something advantageous to your team. You got to put something together. And I felt like the Bills squeaked out of this one. They really did. And you know what I mean? When McDermott tried to get Q, I'm going to fit in 3 plays, and then the clock runs out. Are you serious?
Yeah.
And then Tyrod, gotta knock Tyrod. You do not throw that ball. Also.
Yeah. That was like Jordan Matthews. That was like one of his 2 catches on the day too, was that one. But yeah, like that was not encouraging. And you're right. You know, you do got to score on the turnovers because, you know, you kind of owe it to the defense. Like, they just put in the work. You know, it's kind of like team building there too. Again, you know, it's like it lets the defense know that their efforts aren't just going to be squandered. Like, the offense is going to help get the team ahead. You know, and they could have put it away in the second half there, or in the first half there, I think, or really made Jameis get like really reckless, and there might have just been more turnovers in the second half. But
and that's what we talked about on the way up is Jameis going to get reckless, and not for nothing, Jameis did. And credit to the Peanut Tillman guy, man, coming in. They talk about this turnover shit, and it's real. It's definitely real. And I gotta say, the team played as a team. I didn't think it was flashy, and you gotta win these close ones. I mean, come on, man. The Patriots are having these games gift basketed to them with these calls, and we see it over and over again. And I feel like the Patriots get the calls early on in the year that we don't think about later on, because then they have time to get their shit together. And it seems like the offense is finally, I don't know if Eric Wood or whoever the hell, I don't know if somebody went into the office and said like, yo, here's what's going to work. Okay? In credit to the coaching staff, I have been ripping them. This is a game where you show me if the Bills can come back off of a bye and show me that you're willing to look at your team and make the adjustments necessary on offense to put your team in a good position. And for the most part, statistically, they did. Situationally, it still bothered me, but statistically, hey, we saw some big plays. We saw the Bills team that we knew was there the whole time. So I really got to give a shout out to the coaching staff on that. Like, really good job. Like, good job. I don't care that you squeeze it out. I was on the phone with my dad, Numbill's dad, and Numbill's dad, Papa John, was saying, he was like, I'll tell you, the Bills squeezed it out, man. I've been watching them. I watch all 6 games, and he's a Vikings fan and a closet Jets fan. trying to convert his ass. It's like, Dad, get off. I'm gonna get him an iPhone just so he knows. What's your website? Oh my fuck! He like tries to tell me, oh, Whaley sucks. I'm like, you know nothing. Who got the laugh? But anyway, so dude, I'm just gonna like plug his ass in here one time, Ronnie. You can join if you want, and we'll just plug him in. We'll just get sketchy dad going. Yeah, I thought it was a dynamite game for if you want hope in the team, if you want hope in the Bills, this is a good game to see offensively. Okay, they came out with a win, and that's a win. That's all that matters is you got the win. I don't care how you got it, you got the win, and you gave us something to look forward to.
Yeah, man, definitely, and.
Roll that take into upcoming games. You know what I mean? Like, what do you see with that?
Yeah, dude. Well, I mean, I'm not taking anything for granted, right? Because, I mean, everybody's been saying we were 4-2 this time last year, and look what happened, you know? But there's something about this team that just seems a little more durable, a little more consistent this year than last year, right? Like, I think we talked about, like, there's no more, like, those stupid, like, block in the back penalties on every single kickoff or something, or kick return. But the next few games, though, like, I think we can stay competitive with all the teams we have coming up. Like, you know, Oakland, I think they're vulnerable on defense. We can shut down their run game. Like, we haven't had much of, I don't think the Bills have had much of a problem with handling any team's run game that much. They haven't been run on. So, you know, make them one-dimensional. And I think our secondary has been able to hold it down. Hopefully Poyer will be back for it. So I think we can definitely get the win against. I think we need to. You know, we really got to, if we want to stay relevant in this, and then take that momentum on into the Jets. Again, a winnable game, but I'm not going to take it for granted because the Jets have, I don't know, they seem like they've been on a little streak for a bit since we played them. But I don't know. We can still beat them. And, yeah, and then so really, I mean, we got to win at least the next 3 out of the next 4. Like, if we can get to 6-2, that'd be incredible. Like, then I would maybe start to really, you know, buy in. But I'm not. I'm taking it a game at a time, and I'm really looking forward to the Oakland game. I think it's gonna be a really good matchup.
Honestly, I think you're exactly right because no Marshawn Lynch. Now Marshawn Lynch hasn't been really lighting it up either. So, you know, and I kind of expected that. I don't expect the guy to come. I don't know. Come in and make that kind of impact. You know, for his style running to get older, you're not going to be as good. I don't know. So. I don't give a fuck about a Marshawn Lynch return. I mean, I think it's rad that he would have played, but no, I don't want to see that. I want a Bills win. Screw all the nostalgia, screw all that, and I think this Bills secondary is set up to handle it, and this Bills defense is set up to handle it, and if you can get Khalil Mack zeroed out, zoned out, let's go, baby. And if you want to put Khalil Mack on the side of Corey Glenn, are you going to do that? No, probably not. So what can we do? Hey, can we maybe throw Dawkins on the right side? I would love to see that. I don't know if we can do it, but I want to see it. So, it's like I think he's a space mover. Dawkins looks good. So he, I don't know if he's great, but he's promising. And here, this is where I really, I would just feel more confident. At the same time, I thought the offensive line did a lot better. So, Rodney, I would like to touch base with you again after this Oakland game at some point too. So even if you want to, have a quick thought or two, because I will say, looking back at my notes, I was wondering about from the podcast before about the trenches. It's going to start in the trenches, and Henderson and the Miller debate, and Dukas, and it's like, you know what I mean? I thought the team came out promising, and I'm looking forward to this Oakland game, and I'm confident in the win. I think the Bills are going to win this one. I don't want the Bills. Don't worry about Trey White. It's going to be fine. This coaching staff isn't dumb. Okay, it's been solid the whole time. There's too many smart minds on the defense side of the ball. The offense we were worried about, and look, the coaches made enough adjustments to go, look, I'm going to be real with you. Let's figure this out. And for the coaches and players that actually do that, is great. So
Yeah,
shout out to Dennison and the boys and the rest of the players for doing that. And I have a lot of hope for this team moving forward, Rodney.
dude, for sure, man. Like, I think they can get it done, So,
Well, Rodney, drive home. We get back. We had to part the ways. And I wish we could have podcast after. I think it would have been a little sharper on both of our ends to talk about the game because I sound kind of lost right now. Honestly, I've lost so many
that's
thoughts of
good.
it. I'm sitting here thinking of a description, and it's like, man. But, dude, it was a pleasure to hang out and to bring you to see what's up. So,
Yeah, man.
you have a good night. I will shoot you a text, and I'm just going to roll this ad out. So, thank you so much, Rodney.
Dude, thanks a lot, bro. We'll catch up again sometime.
All right, bud. See you, bud. Thanks.
Later. Yeah, bye.
So that's Rodney. Great dude. Like, really, honestly. I can't say enough good things about Rodney. He was awesome with my friends and really respectful, polite. He wanted to throw in for parking and all this other stuff. And I'm like, no. You're coming on the pilgrimage, as he called it. So Rodney's Pilgrimage to New Era Field. I just talked out the title and I'm thinking in my head. All right, so thank you for following along. I'm your host, David Palermo. And don't forget, punchdrunksports.com and grandstandsportsnetwork.com. If you want ads, go back to the first 3 minutes. If you don't like them, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm trying to build something here. Love you all. Follow along, numbillsfan.com, numbillsfan. Everywhere, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and shout out to everybody who listens and follows along. And I love getting texts in from guys like Rob Antonucci, text me his thoughts and sends me great Bills emojis. And I'm gonna have him on soon. I can't wait because he wants to talk about bringing his kids to the game. So I've railed on that. So he has a secret method, okay, and I think it's called great parenting. So I can't wait to do. I don't have kids. But I'm going to get Parenting Advice Podcast with Rob Antonucci coming to you soon. So insert your party horn here. Okay, I'm out. Goodbye.